This is The Scoop for Wednesday.
I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines. The future of a new stadium for the Tampa Bay Rays is about to come into clearer focus as the St. Petersburg City Council begins discussions about the team's proposed $1.3 billion ballpark. The stadium would be the anchor of a much larger $6.5 billion project to transform downtown. Tomorrow, St. Pete City Council begins a look at the plans for the historic gas plant project. The name is a nod to the area's history as a once thriving black community that was demolished for a highway in the existing Tropicana field. The Rays financing plan calls for the city to spend $417 million and for Pinellas County to chip in $312 million, mostly from a bed tax. Detractors contend that the Rays and the developer should pay rent to make up for potential lost property tax dollars, split revenue with the city and county, and be required to buy the prime downtown land at a fairer value. The Sarasota County School Board approved a resolution last night to reject new federal protections against gender identity discrimination. The Sarasota Herald Tribune reports that it came in a divisive 4-1 vote after a 5-hour meeting. Board member Bridget Ziegler brought forward the resolution to reject the new Title IX regulations days ahead of the meeting, but not following federal regulations could put the district's federal funding at risk. That's about $50 million a year that goes towards schools with a high number of students from lower income families. Board member Tom Edwards cast the only dissenting vote. An appeals court heard arguments yesterday in a challenge to a judge's ruling that executive privilege shields Governor Ron DeSantis' administration from releasing records. The case could have far-reaching implications for the state's public records laws. The appeal stems from a public records request seeking information from DeSantis' office about people involved in discussions about appointing Florida Supreme Court justices. In a subsequent lawsuit, a circuit judge rejected the public records request on a series of grounds, including executive privilege. Yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis held a press conference in Cape Canaveral to sign a bill providing sales tax holidays. WMNF's Chris Young reports the governor also addressed rumors of a special session and protests at Florida universities.
DeSantis was joined by Executive Director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie, to sign House Bill 7073. The bill continues scheduled tax holidays on school supplies, hurricane preparedness items, and more. It also introduced a new tax waiver for property insurance. This comes as Floridians face high homeowners insurance premiums.
We are waiving all taxes on insurance premiums for a full year for homeowners policies and flood insurance policies. And so we're trying to provide relief.
During the Q&A session, DeSantis said he would not have a special legislative session. He was also asked about campus protests occurring around the state.
They should not be able to camp out on university lawns. I know they tried to do that at UF and FSU, and they got escorted out very quickly. That's what should happen at Florida universities. The inmates do not get to run the asylum here.
The next sales tax holiday is from June 1st through 14th. Floridians can get hurricane preparedness items such as tarps, batteries, and flashlights tax-free. For WMNF News, I'm Chris Young.
Hurricane Preparedness Week continues today, and the focus turns towards preparations once a storm threatens. Meteorologist Megan Borowski from the Florida Public Radio Emergency Network says that when a tropical system is forecasted to impact our area, that's the time to put your plans into action.
By this point, you should have already assessed the vulnerability of your property and the needs of your family. Now's the time to look at the forecasted impacts for your area and enact your plans. If you live in an evacuation zone and are instructed to evacuate, assemble your evacuation kit and head to a shelter or the location that you've identified as your evacuation location. Don't forget to take important items like birth certificates and social security cards, essential medications or medical supplies, and if you have any pets, supplies for them. If you are sheltering at home, make sure that your kit is stocked and that you finish any last-minute property preparations. And this includes boarding up windows, putting out your sandbags, and bringing in any loose items.
Borowski says that if we have our plans and emergency kits ready well before a storm threatens, we can easily and safely put them into effect when a system does track our way. You can review evacuation zone information by logging into floridadisaster.org/knowyourzone. It will be sunny and breezy today with near record high temperatures in the low 90s. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight lows in the mid 70s, and tomorrow mostly sunny and breezy with near record high temperatures in the low 90s. I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop. Recorded at WMNF Tampa.